they are, man. People come on here, I'll start talking. Battery's done. Hey, Pastor Dickens. You know what, Pastor Dickens? I was thinking today, you're giving up time, 10 minutes out of the day, to share a little word with people, share a little bit of the scriptures with others. You're taking 10 minutes out of your time in your workday to do that. And you have motivated me to do the same. And my time happens to be, when I'm driving home from work. So I thank you for that, for motivating me to do that. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I mean, you're right. We all have time, or we better mandatorily make time to share the word or get into the word with ourselves or with others. It's just imperative. It needs to be a way of life to be in the scriptures. You can't let the rat race get us so chaotic in the mind to where we think of nothing but the world. It's so easy to do that. It takes a lot of resilience and a lot of self-control and things like that to keep our mind in the right spirit and not let these things, these earthly, fleshly, pleasing things get in the way of that. But after I listened to your live stream, I was reading a little bit again in Proverbs. And verse 30 in chapter 20 in Proverbs really hit home with me. There's a couple different versions of it, you know, with different, with the NIV and the ESV and the NASB and the King James, but it's different versions of it. But Proverbs 20:30 says, stripes that wound scour away evil, and strokes reach the innermost parts. So in other words, wounds to one's pride and character. It's not talking about the physical, it's talking about the spiritual things of a man or of a woman. Stripes that wound scour away evil, and strokes reach the innermost parts. The wounds, the injuries we get in our soul and spirit, in our character, when wounds happen to us, bad things happen to us, it cleans away evil. The beatings purge the innermost parts of the body, the mind and the soul. And there's consequences that we face for the things that we do to other people, or the things we do to draw the hand of the law down upon us, like being a thief. There's consequences for that. That wound of maybe jail time will correct the spirit of a man because of those consequences, and hopefully turn them to seek God, to seek Christ. I think it's in Colossians 3 that Paul says, put to death what is earthly in you, like impurity, sexual immorality, evil desires, idolatry, covetousness, those kinds of things, all the works of the flesh. So when someone is dabbling in works of the flesh, you're going to bring those stripes that wound, and it will scour away evil if you seek God's face. Somewhere in Acts chapter 3 it says, repent and turn back that your sins may be blotted out. Some people want to change, some don't. In this day and age, there's no excuse for not hearing of Christ. There's no excuse, but people shun it. They don't want to have the strong arm of someone else telling them what to do, and the scriptures tell you what to do. They condemn a man. Actually, when you read it, they deliver those stripes that wound. And that's why people stay away from it. They refrain from the word, which is reality. So they stay mixed up in this quagmire and cesspool of worldly, carnal living. The family's fine, Jackson. Things are still the same, but things are fine with the girls. Well, you're retired now. That's awesome. So what was I saying? People choose to live the way that pleases them. They shun God. They shun the scriptures. I mean, if Christ said, if my people who were called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, Christ's face, and turn from their carnal ways or wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin. He'll hear from heaven. And speaking of that, if y'all have got a second, let me take a left turn up here real quick. Speaking of heaven, back in the Old Testament days, how would they meet with God? Where would they go to seek God and to participate in sacrifices to wash their sins? An Old Testament era. In this New Testament era, people talk about, you know, a big cube, a sci-fi cube coming down out of the sky. You know, in Revelation it talks about the measurements and such, about the temple, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of the sky. But in the Old Testament, they would go and meet God at the temple. Hold on a second here. Hope my battery doesn't die. They'd go meet God in the temple, right? Okay, where are we standing right now? Even you, as you're seeing me right now, you see a sunset back there, you see a parking lot. I'm standing on earth, right? I'm standing on earth right now. And behind me, in Old Testament times, would be the temple, right? Earth, all around. I'm standing on earth. Temple. So we would go from this earth that I'm walking on right now to go meet with God where he resided in the Old Testament in the temple. Okay? That's heaven, right? That's heaven in the Old Testament. God, that's where God is, right? In heaven, in the Old Testament, he was in heaven. Well, there's where he would be, in the temple in Old Testament times. So, well, that's more about when I get done with the book of Amos. We'll get more into talking about that, but that's a big Catholic church. And the security guard's walking this way. Maybe he'll talk to me. Yeah, he sure is walking this way. Let him. I'll sit right here and wait for him. But anyway, that's where they would meet God in Old Testament times. They'd go in that temple because that's where God dwelled. That's where he dwelled. Heaven, earth. Heaven and earth. He walked back in. That's a shame. But anyway. But my battery is dying right now. I should have charged my phone before I got off work. You're right, Pastor. 50,000 people will watch an ignorant video, but they don't want to hear the word. People will spend hours a week. There's 40 hours in a traditional work week, right? 40 hours in a traditional work week. And I guarantee you, I can't prove it, I'm speculating, but by observation of people I know that spend time on this internet, I bet you they spend every bit of 30 hours a week on pornography, entertainment, movies, Netflix, and don't think a bit about the scriptures. Because like I said 10 minutes ago, they don't want to hear it. They don't want the strong arm of the law, the strong arm of the scriptures telling them what to do. They want to be their own boss. They want to make their own way, and it's just what they're doing. America is not a Christian nation anymore. There are Christians abroad and about, but no, sir. This is not a Christian nation. No way. By no means. And you can see the evidence of that in who we pick for our leaders. You know, local municipalities, such as mayors and governors, all the way up to president. I mean, we had a Muslim running. Well, he's supposedly a Muslim. You know who I'm talking about. And then we had a Mormon that ran. This is by far a Christian nation. And nobody speaks up against the homosexuality. Nobody speaks up about them wanting to have bathrooms where men that think they're women can use the women's bathroom with, children going into that. Nobody speaks up about it. I do. I do it in my workplace. I don't get, everybody's pretty much like-minded there as far as, things like that go, but my battery's gonna die. But yeah, you're right about that. People do spend a lot of time just watching nonsense, just contaminating their mind with nonsense. And we just got over the big, I like hunting. I like deer hunting. But good day in the morning, man. People really worship and idolize that stuff. It's like when they shoot a deer that you or I, Pastor, would probably, rejoice and be thankful that we have half of a freezer stacked up with some meat. But all these people are really worried about, the meat comes good, but they're worried about them antlers, and it's like a trophy, and they worship it. Have it sitting on their wall. Just look at me, Good day. I just don't understand it. At all. That's a pride thing. You got that right. I know you hunt rabbit and all that stuff. You hunt for your family, for your girls, and your boy, and your family. But a lot of people hunt for the sport of it, to get the trophies, to get the big antlers and stuff like that. They worship that stuff, just like people worship celebrities. They worship movie stars and athletes. I'm telling you, I said it earlier, there is no excuse for anyone to not know of the name Jesus Christ and have been interested enough in it to Google it and see who he is and what he was, and then deny him. Because I talk to people all the time at work, for instance. Just a simple question I'll ask. Where do you think you go when you die? Heaven? Okay. What is it? And it's where you go when you die. Really? You're talking about girls' hind ends when you're married. You're talking about how sloshed you get on the weekend. You brag about all the material possessions you have. You go to heaven when you die? Where'd you hear that at? What book of the Bible is that in? Oh, I heard it from my pastor at church. Wow. And then they'll say, you ought to come to my church. We got an awesome band. We got food, buffet, snow cone machines and all that after church. It's great. Man, people got the wrong... American evangelicalism has hoodwinked the nation. They've hoodwinked the nation. It's... Tell me, Pastor Dickens, what is the health situation out in Alabama there with the COVID and all that? Are there high numbers of deaths that you know of, or just what you hear on the news? Because all we hear on the news here in Virginia is high deaths and all that, and the deaths are accelerating locally. But it's business as usual out here. It's business as usual. I see no evidence of it, and I don't know anybody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that's died. There are some fellows at work that have had it themselves, but they were fine. What about you, Jack? There's a lot of people dying where you're in Georgia. Do you see evidences of that? Oh, he died from it? Was there anything wrong with that, Pastor, or was he a strapping older fella in good shape? So I'm just trying to figure it out myself, just like everybody else is. I mean, is it people with underlying conditions, or is it, just anybody could drop out from it? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I don't see it here. I'm not doubting that it's happening. It's just I don't see it here. Like I said, it's business as usual. Restaurants are packed. They're going against the laws of the capacity of people that's allowed in a certain dwelling. I mean, restaurants are slammed around here. Older with underline, yeah. That's the people that are down around here. People that already have pre-existing infirmities like cancer or diabetes, bad cases of diabetes and things like that. I tell you what, when I had my Lyme's disease last year, I wonder if this COVID would have attacked me back when I had Lyme's disease, because that was a rough 2 weeks, buddy. And right after I had my situation with my wife, I had that Lyme's disease. Oh my gosh, man, you're talking about mental toughness and living by the Spirit for those 2 weeks. I had no choice to, man. I was devastated. Just to have your whole entire homestead and life and 22 years of marriage at the snap of a fingers disintegrate and then get Lyme's disease, yeah, that was catastrophic. But the Spirit worked me through it, and I don't believe I missed a lesson in Galatians 1 through the entirety of that chaos. I don't think I missed a lesson, but I kept plowing through it. Yeah, they all recovered. Yeah, they're sending them home for 2 weeks at my work. If you feel sick or if you tested positive, they send you home for 2 weeks, but all these fellas come right on back. And a majority of them say that they just had minor headaches, stuffy nose, sore throat, things like that. Nothing that confined them to a bed, bedridden. They all recovered well. Now, you're right, mercy from the Lord. It was, I tell you. That's why I'm telling you. Yes, it was mercy from the Lord. You have got that right. Pastor, did you come on here when I first started? Oh, yeah, you did. You were on here when I thanked you for motivating me to, talk a little more about Christ other than my weekly lesson. And I'm going to try to do this every day riding home from work. Not many people listen live, but they do afterwards, but not while we're live. But I'll talk to you every day. That's fine with me. I just don't feel right. I mean, you're so natural at it, I just don't feel right when I don't have my Bible in front of me, because I know exactly where to go in the scriptures that are relevant to the topic of discussion. I have nothing in my lap to go by. I feel it's like the Bible's my appendage. I have nowhere to flip to and scan through to talk, really. Plus, I'm looking at the road, but yeah, I feel naked without having the Bible when I'm talking about this kind of stuff. I guess Jack left. I was going to ask him if how the virus was where he's at. Oh, really? Well, email me, Pastor, and share them with me, and we'll double down on them. I have nothing to hide. I'm transparent. If anybody, I'll answer any question anybody has. I'm not really inviting it, but if anybody asks me questions about the situation I have with my wife, I'll be glad to answer it. Like I said, I am totally 100% transparent, no problem whatsoever. Like I said, I don't invite it. It's a rather, sore subject, but anyway, email me those people you're gonna email to, and or just send me who they are and I'll watch a couple of their videos. And I was serious about coming down there, taking off work and coming down there if you've got some grading and stuff to do. I told you I would. I'll do it at the drop of a hat. All I gotta do is put in the request for the time off. No problem. I'll come down there and help you for a week or two on your property. Yeah, fair enough, Jack. Yep. It's and there was an ad. There was a article in the newspaper Sunday, I think it was, or Monday, about the local funeral home here. Said in 45 years they have never seen so many come in the next morning, and so many deaths were in there from COVID. And you look in the paper and the obituaries daily, and it's 2 or 3 people in the entire valley of Roanoke that have perished. I mean, what do they do? Bringing them in from out of state to come to the mortuary here? I don't know. But they say it's overwhelmed. I don't know if they're going along with a part of an agenda or what, but I don't know. I just don't. I guess I might have to get it to really believe it and take it seriously. I don't know. The people that I know that have had it and have recovered, they, I just... All right, Pastor. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 12 o'clock when you do your thing. Love you too, Pastor. What are you going to do with your time now, Jack, now that you're retired, bud? What are you going to do? Well, my battery's getting ready to die. It's blinking. I'll holler at y'all later till next time.